Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, along with, of course, head coach Scott Langer. Coach, another big weekend here at the ODI Center. Austin in town. You guys end up sweeping them and stay undefeated at 12-0. A 3-1 win on Friday night. A really tightly contested game, especially the second period, it seemed to me, and then you guys had a really strong third. As a coaching staff, what did you guys think of Friday night's game?
Well, I thought their goaltending was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was us making them good or not, that's, I just thought he was good. Made some big saves there, and we were on them pretty good, and they kept the game close. And they're a team that really bottles you up. They're tough to play against. They're a physical group, and they're committed to defense. And we really had to earn our goals this weekend. And obviously, I think getting out early against them was a big one, and playing with a lead.
Yeah, 12 seconds in, Wings get on the board and had that lead. As you mentioned, kind of nice to have that little bit of a cushion there. You just said whether or not he was good or you were making him good. How do you mean that? How can you make another goaltender
Well,
good?
I think when sometimes you allow a goalie to settle in and you're hitting him in the chest or what we call playing catch with the goalie, as opposed to putting it around him or putting it under the bar, but I think he was good.
Yeah.
I think he was good. But, we definitely were on him. We had a lot of chances, and he kept the game close on Friday night.
Surely did. Moving on to Saturday night, another tightly contested game that ended up 3-2. A big night on Friday night for Matsui. There were a lot of guys that had big weekends overall, but Saturday, again, a 3-2 win. Things got a little closer than might be comfortable with towards the end of the third period there. But again, Saturday night, what did you take away?
We had really good play from that Matsui Schneider Fraser line, and obviously Schneider scored that one on the power play. I thought our power play, they did a good job killing penalties, but when we really needed that goal, we got it from Schneider. And it's funny because we had another good third period, even despite the fact that we gave up 2 goals. I think the puck had some eyes for sure. And but I thought our third period we didn't give up a whole lot. We might have gave up 3 shots, and 2 of them went to the back of the net. So our third periods were important against this team this weekend.
Well, and you mentioned it. Right out of the gate. Right at the start of the third period, I just thought to myself, wow. And last weekend, the same deal. We talked about on a couple of different occasions now where you guys are finding a different year coming out of the locker room after the second period. And maybe this is a little repetitive because I think I kind of talked about it a little bit last week. But what is it that is making the third period so strong for you guys?
Well, that's we talk about it, and you have to finish hard, and these teams are playing us so hard right now. Mm-hmm. The more you win, the more you keep that streak, the bigger the bullseye is, and teams are really playing hard against us. So, we know that, once that puck drops in the third period, that teams are going to be ready to go and they're going to get on us. So instead of letting them get on us, we try to get on them, and tip the rink right away. And we talk about it here in the dressing room, and so far I think our third period's been dynamite.
Yeah, really has been. And you guys continue to give very few scoring chances to your opposition. How key has that been? I know we've talked block shots and stuff in years past, or even in weeks past, about how that's a big part of your defensive style and what you expect of your players. But man, it just seems like there's a lot of shots that are being taken that are just not getting to the goaltender.
Yeah, they're not, and that's hats off to this group of guys that are pretty passionate about team defense and not allowing the opposition to get many chances. I think when you limit chances, obviously it gives you an opportunity to win a game, and then you add in the goaltending that we have here this year with Seibel and Wasik. I think that gives you a pretty good equation to win a hockey game. So our guys don't like to be scored on.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great quality.
That certainly shows. I wanted to talk a little bit. Last week after Minot, we talked a little bit about diversity, about adversity, I should say, about the second period up there, and then coming out strong in the third. And we talked about having some strong third periods. Is there a point where a confidence can become overconfidence? when you've got a team that is 12-0?
I don't see this group. I don't see this group getting a big head over what they're doing. They're truly, obviously, enjoying the fact that they're winning games after games, and they're doing it different ways every night, and different things are happening in order for us to be successful. But I'm not certain at this level. It's a confidence thing, like to get too overconfident and it costs you a game. Listen, people are elevating their games against us right now. You've seen it this weekend. You see how hard Austin played us. You see how Minot came after us physically, and it's not going to be any different against Bismarck this weekend.
Yeah.
So, do we eventually lose a game? Of course. I mean, it's a 60-game schedule. I mean, it's virtually almost impossible to win every game. But I like the way our guys are responding to that sort of, different teams playing us that way and thinking physically they can beat us up. And if they work hard against us, they're going to win the game. And our guys come out in the third period and show a whole different level than we did the first two periods, and again finding ways to win a hockey game. So this group likes where they're at right now. I don't think it's a sense of being overconfidence, because when they come to work every week, they put the time in practice. I could see if they were taking time off and going through the motions in practice and not being prepared come the weekend, then we would have a problem. But you know what? If a team's going to beat us, they're going to have to outwork us, and our work ethic is really good right now.
Well, the second part of my question was going to be about keeping them hungry, but I think you kind of already talked about that. I mean, that that's not a problem. It's not like you're having to continue to say, hey guys, don't forget, we can lose, and that the ultimate goal you can't lose sight of it. But like you just said, if they're working that hard, obviously hunger is not an issue. I wanted to talk a little bit about this season being what it is and getting commitments. Is it easier or harder, do you think, so far? Of course, we're early on, to be able to get guys those college deals, because there's fewer teams playing. Maybe there's more eyes on you that makes it a little easier.
It's actually a little more difficult this year, because they passed a rule in the NCAA that their seniors can actually come back for an additional season. So there's a lot of teams out there in NCAA hockey that are weighing the decisions of who they're going to bring back, and it's taking them time to make those decisions. So that's one of it. The other is that the NCAA passed a dead period until April, where college coaches can't come in your building. Okay. So they are using 100% video right now to recruit. And obviously they're utilizing the guys that they trust through their process. And we got a lot of guys being talked about right now, which is good. Mm-hmm. I'm happy about that, because I'm having conversations every day about our guys that are obviously deserving of playing at the NCAA Division I level. But I would say it's more difficult. It's people, instead of being in your building, being a part of the action and feeling it, they're having to do it with all video. Now, huge part for us is we've played quite a few home games, and our ability to produce that video for these colleges is very good. We put a good product out there. We allow them to really see what we're doing, and our numbers are up on Hockey TV, which means the scouts are watching our team. So I think it's just a matter of time before you start seeing a few commitments here in Aberdeen.
Oh, without a doubt. I was just kind of curious, because like I said, thinking that maybe there'd be a few more eyes, but yeah, there are a lot of different components certainly that would make it difficult. But it's funny, like you said, there was somebody on Twitter that I was in Denver that commented about the drone footage from center ice, and I thought, there's somebody in Denver that is watching this game that, I thought that was kind of cool. So I see where that would be a huge key, I guess, of having that video for people to see. Coming up, Bismarck. They split with Minot over the weekend. They were 4-6. Always tough to play Bismarck. Always tough to play them in their building. Like you talked about, target on the back. They're certainly going to be looking to give the Wings their first loss. What do you expect out of the Bobcats?
Well, I think they're going to work, Coach Sedevy gets those guys to work extremely hard. He did a lot of work during their downtime, and he's brought in a lot of new faces. You got a lot of new guys to learn when you call that game on Friday. I'm just going to let you know. But they're an improved hockey team. I got to watch them play Minot during the midweek, and I thought they were very good. They had a lot of tempo to their game. They were playing with some structure, and it's going to be a tough matchup. It always is when you're in that building.
Yeah.
They seem to score in groups, and you really got to keep their chances limited in order to be successful against them.
That actually brings up a secondary question, I guess, because we've talked about that before, about the Bobcats and about how they tend to score in bulk. They'll score one, and 2 minutes later they're two, 3 goals, and then they kind of have a little bit of a drought. What do you suppose that is, or why do you suppose that is?
I don't know. I think they get excited to play at home for sure. I think they really play well at home in front of their crowd, and you said, Coach Sedevy, he's got a lot of energy himself, and I'm sure their guys feed off that. Yeah. And but it is what it is. I mean, they tend to score in bunches, and when they get that first one, they get fired up, and they're right back on top of you. So you really got to do a good job defensively against them, and timely scoring is critical, and I think get out ahead of them.
Well, timely scoring. My final question today is about specialty teams, because we talked about it in the pregame on Friday night about I kind of asked about the percentages and looking at statistically how the Wings have the advantage and how important specialty teams was going to be. You mentioned that specialty teams are important in every game, every night pretty much, but going 1 of 5, 1 of 6 over the weekend. I thought it was interesting because last year at one point I remember you saying it's not even so much about how many power play goals you score, it's about when you score them. And that was big over this weekend. As a whole, you got to feel pretty good about that, I would imagine.
Well, I do. Like I've said before, it's when you really need it. Mm-hmm. There was portions of this weekend that I felt that our specialty teams, more so our power play, was a momentum killer. Yeah. And credit to Austin for a great job on their penalty kill. Yep. But I just felt that you need your power play to create momentum for you, and the last thing you want is it to be a momentum killer. And there was a little bit of that went on, but Coach Hill got it fixed, and Schneider went out and scored that huge goal to put us up, and I thought our energy level came up. Our bench was great. So again, when we needed it, we got it.
Yeah. Well, and on the flip side, of course, giving up one goal on the kill on the entire season. Like you said earlier, it's pretty much impossible to go perfect or 100% throughout the whole season. So you knew it was going to happen at some point, but it was kind of like, one of those moments where it's like, there it goes. But again, the kill was very good too. So we'll see what this weekend brings against the Bobcats. But Coach, I appreciate you taking some time. Again, best of luck against Bismarck coming up.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, folks, we'll return with our second portion of Wings Weekly with the player coming up after this.
Your bird dog deserves a great hunt.
Let's go. Let's hunt some birds.
So do you. This season, hunt in Aberdeen, South Dakota, America's premier pheasant hunting destination. Experience the flush. Experience the rush of wild birds in wild places. Create your hunt of a lifetime this season in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Well, we continue on with Wings Weekly as promised, and this time the player who is joining me is Thomas Manty of Andover, Massachusetts. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Oh, right now 6 goals, 9 assists, just a great season for the Wings so far. This isn't your first year of juniors, though. You were actually come from the Merritt Centennials in the BCHL. Tell us a little bit about your hockey story, how you got started, as far as at a young age, maybe some influences, that kind of thing, in your junior journey.
Yeah, so I started skating when I was 2. So my hockey background comes from my dad. So my dad played hockey. He played growing up, and he played in college and then played pro. And actually when he was playing pro, he happened to meet my mom. So pretty cool story there. So I started at a pretty young age, around 2. I was skating in my backyard arena. And just kept playing, kept going, and the passion only got stronger, and it still keeps getting stronger.
Well, excellent. Excellent. Well, it's one of those things that, you know, the more you feed it, the more it grows, it seems like, as with a lot of things, it seems. In the BCHL, you actually were with Matsui, right?
Yep, and Spencer Schneider.
Okay, and Schneider.
For a quick stint.
Okay, so you guys, that had to have made coming here a little bit easier, having a familiar face.
Yeah, so when I started speaking with Coach Langer, he mentioned Peyton was coming, and I was like, called Peyton right away. I'm like, hey, like this would be good for both of us. Like, be cool, make a real comfortable situation knowing we have Spencer here already, and you know, Spencer had nothing but good things to say about the program and the coaching staff and Aberdeen as a whole. And yeah, we both came on board, and we're both so happy and so glad with the decision we made.
Excellent. Well, Wings fans and certainly are too. You know what? And I forgot to ask Coach Langer about this, but Thanksgiving this last week, things have got to be a little bit different. You know, obviously when you're away from family and so on. But did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I had a great Thanksgiving. My billets were awesome. Made a great meal. Spent some good time with them. I went downstairs to my room for a little while and FaceTimed my family. Had some good laughs with them. They were with another family for Thanksgiving, so it was cool. It was, you know, it's hard to be away from your family in times like Thanksgiving. So
around the holidays.
Yeah,
And stuff,
but made it work.
All right. What's a traditional meal? What's your favorite part of that meal? Is it like potatoes or what?
I really like ham. To be honest, I'm more of a ham than a turkey guy. Obviously, I'll have turkey, but we had ham at my house, so I was super pumped about that.
Well, and coming from Massachusetts, I actually read something interesting last week where they were talking about that the first Thanksgiving was likely not turkey and potatoes and things like that because it was in the Northeast, so it was probably eel and fish and clams and things like that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you if the Thanksgiving dinner is a little different, maybe some different foods if you were back home.
I would say I'm more like the American traditional Thanksgiving. No eel or eagle or whatever you said there.
Okay, going on. As we talked about, I guess, transitioning from Massachusetts to South Dakota, that's got to be a heck of an adjustment.
Yeah, it's different for sure, but as you said, I was in Merritt last year, and Merritt's very small, so coming from Merritt to here, it's just, there's a lot more to do. There's more activity, more life.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Merritt's very small. Like, there's a Walmart, a Boston Pizza, that's about it, so it's a lot cooler having like a Buffalo Wild Wings and just places to go if you know, things to do.
Culture any different?
Not too crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's good to hear. A couple of kind of, I don't know, I always call them kind of goofy questions coming up here, but what is your favorite social media platform? You're an Instagram guy?
Yeah, I'd say Instagram, just to see some cool pictures, see what's going on in other people's lives, and yeah, that's Instagram.
Are you like one that likes fans to follow you and stuff? You want to give a shout out, or more of a personal?
That's all right. I'm all right with what
Riley Murphy, who was with the Wings for 4 years last year, he used to always come up to me and be like, "Hey, make sure you shout out my Insta." He'd always make me shout out his Insta handle and his Twitter and stuff. So I wanted to give you the opportunity. Road Essentials, of course, came back from Minot last weekend. This weekend we're headed up to Bismarck. What do you have to have on a road trip?
Obviously your general essentials, right? Toothbrush, toothpaste, that type of stuff. But I have a massage gun that I bring, so I usually use that on the bus. And after games, it's good to kind of help the muscles recover.
Sure.
And I bring an iPad to watch movies in case want to watch a movie, just do something different. And a portable charger because my phone just dies so quickly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think everybody's got a little backup battery or something because you're on it a lot on the bus. I talked with Coach Langer about confidence and overconfidence and hunger and so on in the locker room, and his answer was great. I wanted to get a player's perspective. Do you think that there's a risk when you're 12-0 of becoming overconfident where you start to feel like, oh, we got this, and then maybe letting your guard down a little bit? Is that a danger?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's always important to keep things in perspective. We're 12-0, but at the same time, like, people are after us because we're 12-0, so they're going to give us their very best, and if they beat us, it's like a Stanley Cup win, right? Like, it's their parade, so you can't just put that jersey on, right? You gotta earn it.
Right. Very good. Let's see. How about, and again, back to the kind of silly question. Would you rather fly, or have the ability, I should say, to fly 10 miles per hour, or the ability to run 100 miles per hour?
Well, that's a tough question. I'd say for a hockey purpose, I'd say running 100 miles an hour, but if I wasn't a hockey player, I'd say I'd love to be able to fly.
How about, and I got an interesting answer from this 2 weeks ago, so I got to ask it again. If you could snap your fingers and be anywhere in the world, just like that, where would you go? Where would you want to travel to?
I'd say just at home, be with my family.
Excellent. Well, Thomas, that's really about all I've got for you here. I appreciate you coming on the show, though. And before I go too far, speaking of family, you want to say hi to anybody?
Yeah, hey Mom, hey Dad, hey Julia. Miss you guys.
Excellent. All right, well, Wings weekend obviously coming up against Bismarck Friday and Saturday, December 4th and 5th, 7:15 puck drop both nights. Watch all the action at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen, or by logging on to hockeytv.com. You can listen to 94.1 The Rock, hubcityradio.com, or the Rock app on your phone. And then the following weekend, the 11th and 12th, is an off weekend. Wings return to the Odie Friday and Saturday, December 18th and 19th, to host the St. Cloud Norsemen. Saturday the 19th will be the Aspire special jersey auction, and those are some really cool looking jerseys. For more details, visit aberdeenwings.com. Corporate night sponsorships are available at home games throughout the 2020-2021 season. Call Aaron at 380-5852 for more information. And don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find this audio for season's episodes on Spotify and on Stitcher Radio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And once again, Thomas Manty, I appreciate you coming on the show and letting folks see a little bit inside you, or through the visor, I guess maybe we should call that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. Folks, that's pretty much going to wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.